Greetings, webheads, and welcome to episode 1 of Witty Banter, yet another Marvel Crisis Protocol podcast. My name is Patrick Runge.
I'm David Lease.
I'm John Paul George.
Alex Farrell.
We are here to help you get more enjoyment and have more fun with your Crisis Protocol. This is our first episode, so we want to give you a little taste of what you're going to be seeing going forward. We are based in Omaha, Nebraska, and we are going to be coming out on a bi-weekly basis. When you subscribe, that's when you can look to find us. Alex, give us a brief description of what they're going to be expecting in each episode.
So every episode we're going to talk about one category is fixed it for you. Taking an area of the game, a character, tactics card, leadership, a rule in general, and just suggesting an improvement. Also taking a rule that you've likely been playing wrong. Oh yeah! Taking a character, tactics card, leadership, crisis, and anything else that doesn't see much table time in the current meta and describing why it's worth another look. And painted models roll better. Discussion of the hobby aspects of the game. Can be techniques, new tools, complaints, thoughts of painting requirements, anything touching on the hobby aspect of the game.
Thanks, Alex. Now, one of the things that we're going to be doing is setting us a little apart from something that's not currently being used in the Marvel Crisis Protocol community is something we call the Dojo Dungeon. David, tell us a little bit about what that is.
So we want to take your rosters and make them better, or at least give you guys our input on what we think might be changes, or how to play a roster, or what you're looking for, or maybe like you should be playing this crisis, or you should be taking this character, or this is what you should be doing with your roster. We want to make you guys out there better players. I mean, that's the end goal, right? So send us your rosters.
All right. I am going to talk about Discord for our podcast. We don't have one. Again, we are yet another Crisis Protocol podcast. We get that. We're in too many Discords. You are in too many Discords, so we don't need one more. That doesn't mean that we don't want to communicate, that we don't want to create a community, though. You can stay in touch with us on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter.com, all of it at Witty Bantercast. You're looking for us, that's where you'll find us. We even have an email address for the olds out there, wittybantercast@gmail.com. So, no Discord, but we expect to hear from you. We do, however, have one thing that any good podcast will have. JP?
We are going to have a Patreon. We're going to have a $1 level, $5 level. It'll help support the show, help us provide some giveaways, maybe quarterly. We'll do shout-outs on the show. Extra. We're going to do access to Witty Banter episodes, extra episodes. We'll do priority questions answered on the air, and we'll do priority dojoing rosters.
Okay, so now we're going to get to our Daily Bugle Headlines, which is the main topic of each episode. We are very fortunate to have the LVO runner-up from this year, JP. So we thought we'd just have a discussion about how it went, how you got there, give us all kind of a flavor and a feel for how it went. So let's start it out, JP. How did you get to LVO? And if you say in an airplane, I'm going to throw this cup at you.
I qualified in Kansas City.
So you won a qualifying event.
Yeah.
All right.
I won a qualifying event. I went with you guys.
Yeah. What event?
We went to Show Me Showdown together.
Yeah. And when was that?
It was in July. It was
pretty
fun. We all slept in the same room.
Yeah.
And I got 3 hours of sleep or something.
Is that Jeff's fault?
That was Alex's fault. Yeah. I snores like a freaking machine.
Listen, man, it happens to the best of us.
But I was taking like naps in your car between rounds.
Oh yeah,
trying to recuperate a little bit, keep my brain from like frying like an egg.
So what you're saying is the key to winning an event is not sleeping.
I mean, I wouldn't suggest it, but it's not. It doesn't keep you from winning, I suppose. It was a 5-round tournament, lasted all day. It was pretty grueling. 5 rounds is a lot more than 3 rounds like LVO, so it's a gauntlet.
Played Suns?
Played Suns, yeah.
With
Played
Mal.
Suns with Mal. That was before the Mal nerf, so I cooked up a list to... I mean, it was off the radar. Nobody saw it coming. Most people didn't know how to handle Malekith, Eye-Hulk, and Blade on the table. Just going 3 wide and smashing and Siege of Darknessing with patch-up. It was pretty good.
I'm going to sense we're going to see a theme here, but why don't you tell us about what your LVO roster was?
LVO was Guardians with Hulk and Thanos. Yeah, so it kind of went for sort of that skewed tall list at certain points. I didn't go all in. I didn't have a 5 threat. With hindsight, I probably would put one in because that finals game was definitely in his favor because of that. I didn't.
Yeah, because he had Prio, right?
He had Prio. Even if he didn't have Prio, he'd be able to pick points or be able to pick threat. And there were so many 19s between our 2 lists that he would have had an advantage there.
You mean like just going into the match instead of like what you guys got?
Yeah, just going into the match, I was disadvantaged. I was looking at like Zach's list, and he wasn't running Thanos or like a 5, and I was like, well, he's probably like the Guardian I have to look out for most. With hindsight, I should have just prepared more for the Guardian matchup specifically. I didn't think Red Skull was going to be used hardly ever, but I guess in the corner case that I do want him, I really do want him. I took Groot instead, and I didn't end up using him at all, so I would make that change, but we can talk about that later, I guess.
So
You had Miles too, right?
I did have Miles. Yeah.
how was the tournament actually set up? Like, what did you do first day, or what were the logistics of it?
So, they had scrambles and LCQ on Friday. And I went down there to register, get everything in order, talk to Omnis, yada yada. I signed up for the first scramble, 11 a.m. scramble on Friday. Played 3 rounds of that, just to loosen up, get a few reps. I hadn't played in a week. Went 3-0 there.
Who did you play? Do you remember?
Lease. I played Brian, who had a Inhumans list, Sans Ghost Rider. I think we ended up playing on Spider Portals, maybe, and Virus, something like that. I didn't take notes on it.
And these scrambles are basically like warm-ups.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're unrated warm-ups, just kicking around. I brought one list. I brought one box with one list, so I just played Guardians the whole time. Second round, I played against Defenders. Third round, I played against Wakanda, and that was an interesting round. It was one of the more interesting plays I ran into. He had used M'Baku to throw. Shout out to Willie. He used a M'Baku to throw a dumpster into his Okoye, who hadn't activated yet, to Dazer to steal priority from me, so he could activate Killmonger top of the round and KO Ghost Rider. CGR.
That's clever.
Yeah,
That's
Nice.
clever.
it was real good.
Yeah.
And I had nothing. I had no response to it. I mean, I used some tactics cards to try to get out of it, but it was a waste of 2 tactics cards. I should have just let it happen.
So
Fall back and sacrifice, and it just didn't. It wasn't a thing.
So before the tournament as a whole starts on Saturday, what were you expecting? What did you anticipate seeing?
I figured there would be Hellfire, Webs, Guardians.
Yeah, Webs was one of the things we had talked about.
Yeah.
Prepping for.
Yeah. I wanted to be ready for those hyper objective teams, and I mean, I was ready for the mirror, I guess. Didn't run into it till the last round. I was worried about Inhumans too, because they can get kind of dangerous as well with CGR at certain point levels.
Okay, so you get there Saturday and you start your preliminary rounds. What did you end up seeing?
To be honest, I wasn't really looking around too much.
Well, what was your first matchup?
First matchup was Hellfire.
So what you were expecting?
Yeah. I mean, I sat down, saw Hellfire. I'm like, okay, we're starting it off strong. I can go into the rounds.
Yeah.
First. Did he have anything like out of the ordinary of what you would think in a normal Hellfire roster?
Yeah, he was running Corvus Proxima.
Oh, okay.
And he brought him against me.
Do you think it was just a steal prio?
I'm not sure what his objective was with that, but I won prio, picked my blues, got gamma, and for some reason, I'm not sure why, but he was running virus, and I was totally okay with that. So it was like
that's a little weird.
7 points on the board if you're scoring the back point. Andy picked 15, which was not good for him. So I went the 15, the dreaded Star-Lord Hulk CGR. And he went Emma, Black Cat, Corvus Proxima.
Okay.
So what I did there was identified Corvus as the man to kill.
Yeah. It's Corvus, right?
Yeah.
Get rid of Corvus.
So I had prio, dazed Corvus. Problem with running Corvus Proxima to cheat the 3-wide is that I can daze Corvus and still get prio. Because you still have 3 models left.
Yeah.
So, and he was playing KG with Emma on his back point, so I didn't have to worry about her. He rolled up. I think he picked up the two side extracts maybe.
Oh yeah, because it was gamma.
I was not concerned about points at all. I didn't care about the extracts. He could grab them, whatever. First priority was to kill Corvus, and then
what did he do? Did he go and pick up a virus with Corvus?
I'm trying to remember how that played out. He picked up one with Proxima. I don't know if anyone picked up. Oh no, Star-Lord picked up the other one. I sent Star-Lord out to pick up the left. He picked up his right. I picked up my left, and then the middle. It was kind of he didn't want to go, and I don't blame him.
And he didn't have anybody to like reach out and touch Star-Lord?
No, I think there was a truck there.
Okay.
And he wanted to stay on the point with Emma, so he couldn't really reach that with range 4.
Yeah.
And Cat, yeah. Cat's not doing any damage. She was just there to stagger people. Which she did. She staggered Hulk, and I think she might have staggered Ghost Rider too. I'm trying to remember if I brought Crew with a Milano, but I don't think I even used it, if I did bring it. But so anyway, I killed Corvus and then ended up tabling him. I can't remember, round 4 or something. Game 2, I played against Chris. He was running Webb's Midnight Suns. I won the prio. He picked 20. Ended up on Gamma Scrolls. Ended up on Gamma Scrolls. He picked 20. So, I wasn't sure what he was going to bring.
So you got prio twice?
I won prio twice, the first 2. That changes, though. I ended up losing prio the next 4 rounds.
Let's go.
Sounds about right. That's how prio works.
Yeah. So he went with the Midnight Suns. He took Blade, Cat, Fist, Moon Knight, Bill, Gwen.
Oh, he went wide on you.
He went wide. Okay. And I went Star-Lord, CGR, Agent Venom, Miles, and Bill.
Okay.
So I was 5 against his 6. He played pretty aggressively trying to get a leg up on points. He was using his range with like Gwen and Moon Knight to kind of peck at me, and using his stealth characters to make my targets not very good. He did kind of stick Fist out, though, to where I could hit him. And Fist is one of those models where I'm not really...
with prio, right, you just daze him and then KO him.
Yeah, I don't want to leave him on the table. Like, him being able to activate Ghost Rider is just not...
It's not good.
I don't want that to happen, so... Yeah. I'm like, okay, you're offering Fist. I will take him. And he was the first model I took off the board. I think it was round 2. Top of round 2, I think I took him off.
Did he have, like, sacrifice or any tricks to keep Fist alive?
I'm trying to remember what cards he brought. I should have taken notes, but... yeah, I don't remember the cards. Obviously, he brought Siege.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't know.
No matter the cost. Or...
He brought a Heroes for Hire.
Oh yeah, obviously.
But yeah, I don't remember what the cards he had. Fist went down, and then I picked up Gwen kind of quickly after that, and then I think Moon Knight. He had Bill. He ran Cat in the corner by the end of the game. He had Bill and Blade left, but I ended up just scoring out. I think he quit before I think it ended up. I ended up at like 14 points. He just he conceded. So, but yeah, I picked up Gwen early just to cut down on his combat tricks. And just caught up on points. So that's how those games go sometimes.
So then you had one more game in the preliminaries, or no?
Yeah, one more game,
Yep.
day one.
Yep, day one. So
it was against Jeremiah. He brought Steve Vengers. I lost Prio.
Jeremiah England.
Yeah, ended up on Scoundrels and Alien Ship, and yeah. So there were 8 points. And Scoundrels was kind of one of those maps where I didn't want to bring CGR just because of the cover.
Yeah.
I mean, you can pull him off, but it taxes his power, and I don't really want to be pulling. I mean, pulling is good, but I want the option to not pull, and like being able to contest is always good. So
yeah,
I didn't bring him there, and I didn't realize till I was analyzing these games way after, like when I was writing up my notes, that he actually played a point down. He brought Steve, Sam, Core Widow, Heimdall, Bill, and Zemo.
And who did you run?
I brought Star-Lord, Agent Venom, Hulk, Miles, and Bill.
Do you think he intentionally went a point down?
I don't know.
Which Core Widow?
Oh, sorry, the two
threat. Okay,
2-threat Widow. Yeah. So he pressured early. He had prio, so he went out and grabbed the middle extract with Steve and sat on the point. And he left Thor to displace my last activation mid. Since he was running Steve, he was able to move, charge, and throw me off. So
yeah, that makes sense.
But I did kill Steve round 1.
Jeez.
But he was able to recover the extract.
How did he just go up in the mid and you just
with Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just grabbed him and did you kidnap him?
No, I shot him with Agent Venom and Star-Lord, maybe something like that. Because I had Star-Lord on my back left. Agent Venom was kind of floating in the middle. I had Miles with my back right. I was moving Hulk up the mid, and where did I put my Bill? I don't remember what I did with my Bill round 1. I might have put it in his back. I don't think so though. I don't remember. But yeah, I dazed this Steve, and he dropped his extract, and he was able to like move up and pick it up because I had moved and shot, so I didn't have the proximity to pick it up. So the round 1 ended 5-3, which was not a great start. But he towered on the middle. He ended up like moving up a bunch of people, like Heimdall, Zemo, and then Cap was already there and Thor, just to get a bunch of rerolls and tower on the secure to give him cover. So it was like a really defensive position, but Agent Venom doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah. He's like, I don't care about cover. Yeah.
I don't care about anything.
Yeah. None of that stuff matters.
So Agent Venom like web swung. I can't remember what round this was. It was either 2 or 3. Agent Venom, it was a disgusting beam. He web swung. He got within 2 of all 4 of those people. And beams.
And beamed, yeah.
And he wild triggered every time. And I ended up KOing 2 people and dazing 2 people.
Oh, that's a good activation.
Everybody dropped.
Yeah.
And Agent Venom still had an action left. And he's like, I guess I'll move back to the point. So like that was kind of the game.
The definition of a good problem.
Yeah, I feel as though that's a good problem when your models like has nothing to do after doing everything.
Agent Venom's just so good in Guardians.
Yeah, Jeremiah wasn't very happy about that, and I don't blame him. I was like, I don't know what to say, man. That's
I mean, taking a healthy Thor from 9 to 0, that's rough.
It was it was on his front, so it was like 7.
Oh, you're right.
Did he go up? He went up to 7?
7. Yeah,
he's
7
now.
Okay.
Yeah, but I KO'd Cap. His defense rolls were really poor too. Like Cap rolled like 6 and got like 1 success.
Jeez.
Like, even counting blanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
like
hit something. You know, like.
Yeah, but like I also like on Scoundrels. I don't think you want to cluster up anyway. If you saw Agent Venom in. Yeah,
I don't know if he just. I'm not sure. Omnis was watching the game the whole time. Maybe he was nervous.
Maybe.
I'm not sure. But maybe just, people might forget Agent Venom has a beam, you know?
Maybe, yeah.
He does do a lot of like range 4 shots. The beam doesn't come out that often.
No.
Usually he's peppering from range 4, so I don't know. I mean, it's a good strategy, towering mid, but not against AV.
No, yeah, you don't want to do it.
No.
Especially when my dice were pretty decent and his were just like really bad. But hitting wilds on that is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous because the auto damage is just
like
good.
Hitting wilds on. Well, I guess hitting a wild on the last attack didn't matter because like everybody else was dazed or KO'd. But like hitting 3 wilds, that's like an extra 9 damage on that thing, just straight. Which, if you think about it, is like essentially like 18 dice.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah,
ish.
That's good. That's definitely good.
17 dice, something like that. So I mean, it was a sick play, and like the recovery from that is like pretty much non-existent. So
yeah,
the game kind of ended in a round or two after that.
He didn't. Did you target Cap first?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Because I
Cap
was like,
first to be targeted because fuck that guy.
well, you didn't want the bodyguards,
Right.
Because Emmy and the bodyguards would have.
Yes.
So you're done with your first 3 rounds. You're 3-0.
3-0, yeah.
How are you feeling at that point?
Pretty good. Like, I mean, I'm ready to be done for the day. Pretty tired. But yeah, I mean, feeling pretty. My games were pretty dominant. Like,
well, in did Vince lost round 3?
2 or 3. He went 2-1, so it must have been 3.
Yeah, I think it was 3.
Yeah. No. Was it? No.
Maybe it was 2.
I feel like because I had to play Vince. No, Jeremiah beat Vince.
Oh, okay.
He beat him in round 2.
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking I'd have to play Vince if he won his in the third.
Yeah.
I'd have to play him in the 3rd round. So Jeremiah beat him, so I played Jeremiah.
So this isn't your first LVO, right?
It is not.
Did this year's feel different than last year's, at least at this point?
Yeah, because I lost to Andrew Olschwager. I think that's how you say his name. In round 3 last year.
Yeah.
So I was 2-1 last year.
So this
As opposed to 3-0.
You got your Hulk Helios, right? Is that what happened?
Yeah.
On like round 2 or 3
it
or
was
something?
disgusting, yeah. Andrew's a really good player, and he outplayed me that game. I got smoked.
Yeah.
So now you're 3-0. You know you're going to make top cut next day. Was there any difference in terms of kind of what you did to prepare, how you kind of thought about things, or what was your mindset going from day 1 to day 2?
Well, you knew who you were going to play, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I had looked. I saw I was playing defenders.
Oh, okay.
And I was.
He's the guy that had the like portals with Wong, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is something that not many people do. That actually might be pretty good.
Yeah. Like, it's funny because I looked at his list and I'm like, Ghost Rider might be a problem, but I don't mind defenders. Like, we're both trying to beat each other up, and he's probably not as good at it. But
I know we had talked about that you were probably favored that.
I felt like it, but like when we sat down and rolled it out and then put characters on the board, like his team, I would say felt the most imposing out of like everything I played that weekend. I'll get into it here. I lost Prio. We drew his blues. He was playing demons, and then I drew my ships, so 6 points on the board. So it's like, okay, we're gonna be probably
you're choosing violence.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
The score did end up mattering. I scored out 16, but I did not think. I thought it was gonna just be
straight beat him up.
Yeah, just a meat grinder. He put Daredevil, Dynamo, Bill, OG Ghost Rider, and Wong on the board versus my Star-Lord, Hulk, CGR, and Bill.
And David, you were saying that's a Wong. He had Wong with portals.
Yeah. With pentagrams.
Or with pentagrams. So did that throw you? When you saw that, or what did you think when kind of that came?
Well, he had used it round 2.
How did he use it?
He moved Wong up round 1, meditated, sat on the back.
Demon.
Thank you. And then round 2, he gained the power, and then cast the portal, and he stepped Dynamo through it, and I believe Dynamo was hitting 3-man beams out of the portal.
So,
good.
so he's using the portal to set Dynamo
Did you have
up.
Prio on round 2?
Yes, I believe I did. I would have had to have.
Okay. So he threw the portal up. Did you use the portal at the top of the round?
Did he?
No, did you?
No. I used. So basically, he put Daredevil, Dynamo, Bill, OG, Ghost Rider, and Wong on the board, and I'm like, I don't know, like, who to target here. They're all really bad.
Yeah.
I knew Ghost. He brought Deal with the Devil too, so Wong's on the back point. Deal with the Devil is like just making attacking Ghost Rider not an option right now.
Unless you could like Daze Wong in that same.
But I still need to Daze Ghost Rider first, and then Daze Wong in the same round that I'm KOing Ghost Rider. I don't know. It was a lot of math that was hard to solve at that point.
Yeah.
But Daredevil, like, that leadership is really scary.
Yeah, it is. Especially on you guys playing Gamma, right? Or no, Demons. It's not as terrible on these, but it's still scary.
Just being able to reroll attacks and that many rerolls is
it's
pretty big
really
deal.
Good, yeah.
On top of the Incinerate.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Ghost Rider, he played him super aggressively, so he just moved him up, and he's like, he's going to pick on your CGR all game.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. Yeah. And my CGR took way more damage round 1 than I thought. He was able to Hell on Wheels, or not Hell on Wheels, what's the superpower? 3 cost. No, it is Hell on Wheels.
Yeah, it's Hell on Wheels. Yeah. Because the tactics card is Highway to Hell.
Highway to Hell, yeah. He Hell on Wheels up and like double attacked CGR round 1.
How did he get...
Because I was attacking his stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah, because you were attacking his stuff because he's gaining power.
Yeah, he moved Daredevil up his left flank to pick up that ship. So I'm like, okay, well, he's offering Daredevil. I'm going to go kill him. So I moved CGR over there, took some shots at him. He gained power on CGR or on Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
And then finally on Ghost Rider's activation, he moved up. I think he put like 6 damage in the CGR or something.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was bad. And then top of round 2, I go to Spender, and he's deciding if he wants to... I think he had Sacrifice. And he didn't, and he was kind of banking on me rolling a lot of crits, so he could do
the explosion thing from Ghost Rider?
Yeah. Whatever that's called. But I only ended up rolling 1
Is
crit.
it Wicked's Judgment?
Wicked's Judgment, yeah. I only ended up rolling 1 crit, so I stayed alive, and not for much longer, but I got another action out of him.
Oh, okay.
But he was like, the amount of shock that team can put out is pretty scary between Bill and Dynamo.
Yeah.
And then Dynamo making me reroll. It's a very like tanky attrition, and then like the Daredevil leadership helps them add dice on their side. So it was kind of a tough puzzle to solve. I figured that I could throw his Dynamo away medium, since he's a short mover. It's a good way to mess with his action economy. So I had a Hulk and and Bill to do that. Just trying to do that as much as possible. I ended up picking up his Ghost Rider. I KO'd his Wong and then killed his Ghost Rider in the same round, so he was forced to deal with the devil into his Dynamo.
Ugh. I guess that's fine. I don't know if I would have done that.
Yeah, I mean, they were both unactivated, so he lost an activation either way.
Yeah.
Did you end up feeling like that was a win, having him have to do that into Dynamo?
Yeah, for sure. It cost Ghost Rider 4 power to do that. And then Dynamo's gone. Like, I'm fine with that.
No more shock and no more rerolls.
The force rerolls, yeah.
That seems like a win.
Yeah, either way. I was picking a model off, and it wasn't Wong, so I was happy with it.
And Dynamo's slightly more tanky than Ghost Rider is.
Yeah, at that point, it probably didn't matter. Like, 8-7 is probably enough to survive, because I only had Hulk and Bill left.
Yeah.
But I ended up scoring out 16 on that round. But that was he used Portal to get Dynamo mid, and he used Portal to. I used Portal to get my Bill to his back to start picking on his Wong, and then he used the Portal to move his Bill up to mid, and he also used it to get his Wong mid.
Did he place the portals in such a way that you could get on to the back point from just without moving?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that.
But he offset them so that you didn't have to be incinerated to go through the portal.
Oh, okay.
So now you won your first game. Now you're top 4. You're in the semifinals.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you kind of start thinking, "Oh, I could win this thing"?
Let's be honest. Day 1, he started gaming with us. He knew he could possibly win LVO.
I mean,
did you think it at all? I guess that's the first thing. Were you just kind of focusing on I'm just play this game,
I was
play this
thinking
game?
one at a time, I guess. I mean, I went with the intention of going 5-1.
Well, and I think by that point you had dodged. I mean, DeLuca had already taken. Or no, DeLuca was an top 8, right?
He was, yeah. DeLuca lost to your 5th opponent, I think. The X-Force player.
X-Force.
Oh, yeah.
I think that because...
Well, by the time of the semifinals, it was...
I know Ghostier got knocked out. Vince was out.
Yeah, Ghostier was out very early.
Yeah, Vince was
I
out.
think he went 1 drop, if I remember.
Aaron Franklin was out.
Yeah, I mean, he played it out to 4.
Well, yeah, but he was like out of the brackets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure DeLuca lost round
I think so.
4, and you ended up playing...
He might have lost round 5, maybe.
No, it was round 4, because round 5 you played against X-Force, Alex, and I remember he played DeLuca.
Okay.
The round
because
before.
DeLuca was playing Wakanda, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you get to round 5, and what did you end up seeing with round 5?
It was X-Force, which was a game that was commentated on by Professional Casual. So
you were
people saw that stream.
Yeah, so you were streaming the semifinal.
Yes.
Does that
Omnis had asked me the day before if I won round 4, if I would want to be streamed round 5. I said that's fine. I'm okay with that.
How does that, if anyway, how does that change how you're approaching it? How do you think having it streamed change the game, if at all?
It adds a little pressure.
And so you couldn't use your tokens or your measuring tools, right?
That was really weird. Had to use official tokens and things and measuring tools.
And that's for the stream
and dice. Yeah.
That's because the professional casual wants you to do that.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know exactly what that was about.
Okay.
I didn't ask.
Did it?
Whatever. I mean,
did it throw you? Did you?
A little bit, because I had to use Galaxy's Greatest tokens for my winging its, and there's a visual cue that I have with the tokens I use. So that made it a little weird. I don't know if I would have.
So you couldn't use any of your acrylic tokens?
No, I couldn't use any acrylics.
Oh.
And by the time you're reaching the semifinals, it's pretty fine margins anyway.
Yeah. The status effects tokens are wild. I could not figure out those at all.
Yeah, the new ones, because it was the core set.
Yeah,
it was the core set one. Yeah,
just give me the thing, because I don't know what any of these look like.
Well, and you're on the clock too, so
the symbols and everything.
Digging around and trying to find the tokens is probably
it wasn't
obnoxious.
ideal. That wasn't ideal. But I sat down across X-Force. I lost Prio again, and it ended up being Sword Virus, which, I mean, he brought Sword, so he's giving me 15. I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
So Star-Lord Hulk CGR came out again.
So 15 is kind of your sweet spot with that roster.
I mean, it's pretty good.
I mean, you do the Star-Lord Hulk CGR, or you do the Bill Rocket CGR Star-Lord. If you think
I guess
they're
you
going to go wider.
Yeah, I mean, Hulk's so good, though.
Hulk is really good, though.
When you're against another 15, it's like very hard for them to go 5 wide unless they're running
Sam Spam.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Webs.
but like with the X-Force being like cable, like he's already at a 5. He's got 10 left.
Yeah,
I'm like, I just want to
way.
go one more narrow and pick up cable. So
yeah.
I mean, that 15 is so good. I mean, everyone knows that.
Yeah.
And it's not as good on sword because Ghost Rider can't flip, but I figured I could pick up the cable fast enough to where the sword flips would be not as oppressive because he would have like one fewer model.
Well,
to deal
and
with.
you could just go to one of the points that he wasn't standing on and just auto flip him to, right?
And Hulk's really good at flipping
Yeah,
those
he is.
points.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's got so much action economy and so much displacement that I figured if I could keep him alive, he could keep me in the game and get me caught up. So I went in there just wanting to pick cable up and protect Star-Lord and Hulk as much as I could. Because if he was able to like take out Star-Lord early, or just like pile on the damage on Hulk with, incinerates and rerolls and blah blah blah. Like if I lost one of those too early, it would have been very difficult to mount a comeback on points.
Yeah.
But I was able to pick up that X-23 round 1, make her drop the extract, which put him down a point.
Yeah, because he double moved X-23 and grabbed
behind a size 3 container to mid. Picked up mid virus.
Yeah.
And
then you double moved Hulk through the building at her.
Double moved Hulk up through the building. I think I was able to stay on the point with Hulk. Maybe not. Trying to remember the layout. I did flip the point though with Hulk, and then
So you walked up, flipped the point, and then walked up.
yeah,
and
I
then threw
think
the
that's
thing.
how it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 3 power, spent 1, and then spent 2.
I know watching it on stream, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
as soon as he moved her up there, I was like, oh, he's just gonna throw that train piece at her.
And then she took some damage, and then Star-Lord moved up, flipped his back point, and shot her and killed her. And he wasn't able to pick that one up, and then he didn't pick up his left side virus with Logan either. So he didn't go up that many points round 1, which I was happy with. He was able to put like 9 damage on Hulk with Cable round 1, which was I think it was 9 damage. It was a lot. But yeah, Ghost Rider killed Cable pretty early. I did mess up really bad with the winging it. Just absentmindedly during my spender, I went to wing it and picked up my shield.
Oh yeah.
For the dust to dust.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
he had 2 blocks. And I'm like, wow, that was fucking terrible. So I rolled into 2 successes, luckily, and he rolled 0 blocks. That would have been a totally different game if Cable had lived, because he would have had full power. He would have been like builder, spender, throw. Like it would have been a way different game. I almost just lost that out of stupidity. So
Having Hulk take 9 damage that round, almost halfway through, does that change your plan at all?
yeah, I backed him off.
Did you daze Cable round 1 with CGR?
I think it was round 1.
It had to be because you picked him up round 2, right?
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Yeah.
I moved CGR, double tap Cable, and then spendered him.
Yeah.
And then I moved CGR forward to pull X-23 at an angle to where she wouldn't be within 3 of Hulk anymore,
Yeah.
so that she would only get 1 attack if she wanted.
Yeah.
Because I was scared of the reprisal from X-23 into Hulk. And I was just trying to keep him alive as much as possible. So it ended up working. I was able to shimmy Hulk around, keep the damage off of him. I got kind of lucky on the Star-Lord. Logan taking shots at him and not being able to kill him. I think I used my winging it on the Star-Lord to keep him alive. I was able to throw Logan off my back right point a couple times behind the size 3 terrain so that he couldn't see Star-Lord.
Oh yeah.
So I was kind of
come right
basically
back in.
staggering him. CGR lost his psychosis 1 round, and I was able to really capitalize on that.
Oh, didn't you roll no power for him on the first?
Yeah, I did. I rolled 0 power round 1, which was pretty brutal.
Yeah.
It was pretty brutal. Maybe it was round 3 I picked Cable up.
It might have been. You might have got X-23 on round 2.
I had to move CGR up to
yeah, because you didn't have enough to place.
Yeah, I had to move him and then shoot. And there's no way I got Cable with one shot. So it would have been round 3 I picked Cable up. But yeah, that was a cool game. I used fallback really well against Deadpool. His Deadpool was popping off. He leg dayed in the range 4 of my Hulk, shot 1 pistol and did 5 damage to me.
Ouch.
I had 4 power. I could have puny bannered, but I mean the correct play was to fall back. So I fell back out of the rapid fire.
Yeah.
And he he lost his rapid fire shot. He had 1 more action, and he had already used leg day.
Yeah.
So he had to go to a different target, and the Hulk was safe with 2 viruses. So that kind of won the game right there. Not being able to pick up Hulk.
Yeah.
So how did that game end?
I scored out. I had also I had such a good round that I forgot to activate the Hulk. I don't know. It's kind of blurry. Someone might have stopped the clock. I don't know if it was me or I don't know. But Omnis is like, you still have Hulk to activate. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I do.
That might be a good idea.
So that was the round where I just punched Logan. I think I one-shot him to daze him, and then gamma leapt and moved to pick up the virus that nobody picked up all game. So it put me up another point. I think I might, yeah. And I flipped the. I might have flipped the back sword too if I didn't have it flipped already. But I'm pretty sure Logan had it flipped at that point.
So now you're 5-0. You're in the final. Is that sinking in that you're 1 game away from winning the tournament?
Yeah. I mean, I was taking every game as it was coming, and now I'm in the finals. So, and I was standing there at the finals table, and Gregory walked up, which was and he put his box down, and I'm like, "This is you?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, nice," and we high fived because he had he had come up to me. I was just sitting there, minding my own business. He came up to me and started talking to me about my case. I thought it was really cool. So we got into talking about my table war case and how things I liked and didn't like about it. And he's a cool dude, and he ended up being my opponent. So
and you hadn't met him before.
I'd never met him. Yeah, he just came up and started talking to me.
Who did he beat? Did he beat Brotherhood?
Yeah, round 5.
It was Brotherhood, round 5, yeah.
Yeah, because I know the commentators were like, oh, we're going to get X-Force Brotherhood.
A mutant showdown.
Yeah.
I honestly was surprised to see Brotherhood made it that far to begin with.
Yeah.
Not to say that they're bad.
I don't know what that roster would have consisted of.
It was a Mystique roster.
Oh, was it? Did it have
Magneto?
No Magneto?
No.
Interesting. That's kind of...
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
So you're at the finals. What are you seeing for the roster that you're facing?
I see Red Skull, and I'm thinking that I don't have Red Skull, so I'm going into it with.
What did you think? Did you think he was going to bring CGR Hulk?
When I picked 15?
Yeah,
Star-Lord? For sure, 100%. But the other way it would have worked out is he goes Black Order, takes the thing, takes Thanos, CGR, Red Skull, and I'm forced into taking combinations of things that are 4 wide. Probably Star-Lord, CGR, Hulk, and Bill. But him having Prio is just so big.
So he wins Prio. Which crisis does he take?
We ended up on Seal's Researcher. So I think I'm trying to remember if he picked his blues. I'm pretty sure he did.
Do you guys have the same crisis?
No,
I think
not exactly.
he had Senators and you didn't.
He had Senators, and
Senators is a big risk.
he had Infinity Formula.
The interview with Professional Casuals, he took Senator because at 19 Threat, that there was something about 19 Threat that he really liked about it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Senators is still it's a strange risk.
Yeah,
Because if you catch a scoring team,
yeah, you're kind of stacking them up with a lot of points. It gets weird. I'm not comfortable running senators in my attrition teams, but if you are, more power to you, I guess.
So what were the 2 crises?
Seals and researcher.
And you picked threat
15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're rolling out with Star-Lord, CGR, and Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And what did he pick?
You picked Star-Lord, CGR, Hulk.
So a true mirror match.
True mirror.
All right. What were you expecting that?
Were your tactics cards different?
Yeah. He ran patch up.
Okay.
And I had sack.
Okay.
But we both had brace fallback, recal, and he had Galaxy's Greatest, and I had what did I have? I had something else. I don't
No matter
remember
the
what it was.
cost?
No matter the cost, thank you, yeah.
So did the fact that you got that, at least with the models, the mirror matchup, did that change what you were thinking about, or how did you kind of approach your game plan getting ready?
Honestly, I got lucky on Researcher. That gave me a lot of control in the game. If it was any of the other extracts, it would have been not that way. Just because I have last activation with Hulk round 1, I can dictate where the Researcher goes. If it was any other extract, his Hulk picks up 1, his Star-Lord picks up 1, my Star-Lord picks up 1, my Hulk picks up 1, and we're like at parity. Whereas with Researcher, I move Hulk up, throw. I think I threw his CGR away. Not that he was contesting, but I pulled his Hulk off with my... He went Star-Lord move up. I went Star-Lord move up. He went Hulk mid. I went CGR move up, pull Hulk off, shoot him. He went CGR move up, shoot my Hulk. I went Hulk move up, throw CGR back, just to tax his power and cap the Researcher.
So not having priority actually was a benefit for you.
Yes and no. Like in the Kaiju 3v3, like Prio's super important for the Alpha Strike. Because if he can daze my big model who dazes stuff, I have less possibility to daze one of his guys in that round. And even if I do, I have to daze the guy that already activated, or he maintains Prio. So then it gets weird because he's able to KO before I can KO, and then it kind of goes to the next model, and then like it ends up being like he has a big guy left and I don't. So I had to play it kind of cagey, trying to leverage the Researcher against him. That made the game a lot closer than it would have been with any other extract. So I got lucky there, for sure.
So how'd the game unfold from there?
We kind of went back and forth, displacing each other's CGRs. Star-Lord's kind of like a non-issue in that match for a while. Like, you don't want to even look at the other person's Star-Lord. Like, dazing Star-Lord's terrible.
Terrible because it's kind of a waste of energy that you focus on the others.
Well, it messes with Prio.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to give up Prio to daze a Star-Lord. It's mainly like trying to, like, I think we both played our CGRs very well in the fact that like we weren't overexposing them, so we were kind of forced to go into each other's Hulks, which is not ideal for either side because you don't want to power up Hulk, you don't want to make him angry. So he was kind of towering on one side, and I was more spread out because I was ushering the Researcher to my flank with Star-Lord, and he was kind of controlling my Hulk, and he had my Hulk up kind of by his whole team, and that was a huge round for me when I like did the Gamma Leap double attack throw. That had to be the most significant activation of the game.
You feel like that was a turning point?
It could have been, but I fucked it up. I'm sitting there counting out my power, planning it out. My Hulk had 15 damage on him. I had a winging it, no matter the cost, and full power. And he had... Did I have full power? Let's see. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I had full power. And he had brace and got your back. So it was like a pretty nuanced activation where I had to Gamma Leap into range to even affect anybody because it's all range 2. I had calculated out my power, but I didn't sequence it correctly, and I realized it after the fact. After I spent 3 damage off of Hulk to no matter the cost of spender. I did that because I needed more power for spenders, and I also wanted to do damage to Hulk to get that extra dice. So right when I did that, I'm like, man, I didn't want to do that. I actually wanted to throw Hulk into CGR first, and then spender Hulk and throw him into CGR again. What I ended up doing was I punched Hulk, and he fell back. So now he's out of range for another hit. And I can't throw him because he's behind... Well, not only is he behind Star-Lord, but he's out of range for the throw, too. So I threw him into Star-Lord. He took 4 damage. Ghost Rider is within range 2 of me still. So I'm like, okay, I'll throw him into Star-Lord. Which was probably a mistake on my part. For several reasons. One of them was that he could have taken the impact on Star-Lord and then got your back to kill the Hulk.
In his activation. Which would have been terrible.
The other issue was, I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, I'm going to throw CGR in a way that gets him farther away from the rest of my team. So I threw him back at a back angle and threw him out of range 2. So I think that was actually a blessing in disguise because Gregory looked at that and he said, he probably thought Hulk has another activation, but he's not in range 2 of anybody anymore. So he braced the throw because of, I'm thinking because of that. So now Brace is offline and I'm looking and I've got 4 power left in an action. So I'm like, okay, well, I can still Thunderclap. So I placed the range 3 and I've got everybody. Omnis checks it. It's really close on Hulk, but I have all 3. So I go CGR first, and here's where I mess up again. And this happened really quickly, and I don't know if it was just tournament exhaustion or what, but I roll my attack, he rolls his defense, and then he I don't even know what was said. It's hard, there's no audio on the cast, but there's only a few seconds between us rolling and him picking up his defense and rolling him again. I don't know. By the time he rolled him, I looked down, I'm like, wait, I have a winging it. But it was too late. So I should have winging my attack. It wasn't like there was a check, do you want to winging it? Okay, I'm going to use my winging it. It was kind of I'm going to roll winging it. And then my brain was just okay, he's got a winging it token, he's roll winging it. I don't know. Anyway, I missed my window. He rolls into 1 more success, lives on 1, and then I go into Hulk, kill Hulk. He got your backs. He got your back into Hulk, kills my Hulk. I don't get my shot on Star-Lord. He has 2 activations he's got an activation with CGR and an activation with Star-Lord after that. They're both low. I end up dazing them both next round at the top of the round.
And what round is this now?
That would have been round 4, I think.
4, yeah.
And what's the score look like at that point?
It was 8-3 or something like that.
6-3.
Was it 6-3?
It was 6-3.
At the end of round 4?
3.
At the end of round 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how are you feeling at that point?
Well, I'm looking at the score and I'm like, after I dazed both of them and moved on to the researcher with Star-Lord, I'm going up to 8-3 on that. And it's going to be round 6, I think. Or is it round 5?
I think it's round 5.
It might have been round 5. It's looking good. I'm thinking that I've pulled it enough ahead where he can't
Catch up?
Well, he can't catch up on points, but he can't he can't wait me out.
Yeah.
So I literally just moved Ghost Rider to the back. Oh, that's right, yeah, because I passed. I moved Ghost Rider to the back at the end of round 4 when I dazed both his guys. I moved Star-Lord onto the researcher, and then Ghost Rider went back behind his range or size 3 terrain within range 1 so that I could get cover. Then he activates. I think he activated Star-Lord first. Took my Star-Lord out, and then my CGR. I sat there for a while thinking about it, and I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to do anything. So I literally picked up an activation token and put it next to CGR. Like, I didn't even move him. So he's like, okay, it's round 5. It's 8-3. I need to do something. So he moves his CGR up and shoots mine. Does 2 damage. Puts me at 5. Oh, and he had Galaxy's Greatest that round. So he's throwing 7 dice attacks and 5 dice blocks. So it goes into round 6. I have prio. I'm weighing my options. I can run or I can fight. So I'm measuring out all the running options, and they don't look great. He's throwing 7 dice with CGR, and he's got winging it, and he's throwing 6 dice with Star-Lord. He's got enough power to, like, port range 5. He's got enough power to pull. So there's not really a way to avoid 2 to 3 attacks. He can probably get double attack with Star-Lord and a single with CGR, which isn't great. I think his Star-Lord had 2 power. So if he were to generate 1 power off 1 attack, he could go into a spender for 8 dice.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at 7 dice, 2 rerolls, 6 dice with 2 rerolls, and then 8 dice possibly. So I'm like, I'm going to Alpha Strike. He's right here next to my CGR. So I port out. I make a really good attack, and he has a really good block. He blocks 5. I get him to 1, and then I blaster him. And I think it was like 3 successes to 3 successes. And that was the game. Like, I get pennant stared, and I disintegrate.
So, in a lot of ways, the LVO, the finals of the LVO come down to not getting that 1 extra damage on Star-Lord.
In the end, yeah. I mean, it came down to me not using a winging it, but it also came down to him bracing, which was a big mistake on his part. So, I mean, there were mistakes made on both sides. But if I had, I mean, if you have a lot of time to think after you take a loss like that. If I had winged it into CGR, I would have dazed all 3 of those guys, and I would have had a Hulk alive still at 2, and a Star-Lord to move the Researcher back. He'd have to activate top of the round. He kills my Hulk. He has one action left with either Star-Lord or CGR. Whoever he went with first. And I have...
Did you forget about Cosmic's his dog back? Did you have that in the back of your mind?
You mean the one where it took out his Hulk?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think so. It was a wild activation. Like, there were a lot of nuances there. I targeted him first, tried to kill him, then went after Hulk. Next biggest threat. Like, Star-Lord's obviously the least, so I think I had the got your back in mind. I don't know. My mind slipped on the wing. It happened really quickly. Him going into the reroll on defense. And I felt kind of stupid saying, like, whoa, that happened kind of quick. Let me back up, because it was whatever. It already happened.
Yeah.
So did that final, as you were playing it, did it feel different than other games, other matches that you've played? Could you kind of feel the weight of the moment, I guess?
I mean, kind of. It was whatever. We were having fun. We were laughing. I mean, it was serious too, but it didn't get sweaty at all. It was fun. It was a fun game. I kept saying, like, I know the stream hated it. Just like full of trolls saying blah blah blah, crayon eating and things, but I thought it was a really nuanced strategic game. And I was like, I kept talking like, this is a really fun game. This is a good game. So, I mean, I guess there was pressure because it was the finals, but it didn't feel too. I mean, I was already in the finals. Like, it was whatever.
How much more pressure could there be?
I mean, I would have liked to win, but it was kind of like, I'm already here. Like, I'm at the finals. Like, I already did the thing I set out to do. I was going to go 5. I mean, wanted to win, but 5-1 was my goal, so I was already there.
And it's a heck of an accomplishment, getting to that level and having that final be that close.
Yeah. And Gregory he was a great sport. I really liked playing against him.
Did you have any weird calls or any weird, like, interactions? I know somebody had mentioned that he had thrown with his Hulk twice.
Yeah, I mean, that came up after. Well, no, that was on stream. People were saying that, I guess.
Yeah.
That was such like a... So, if I'm being honest, he did throw twice, but it was such a weird... Like, it was so
You didn't go back and
it was so insignificant. No, I mean, it wasn't even caught, like, it wasn't even brought up to the table. Like, nobody knew about it at the table.
Okay.
Because there was time that elapsed between him throwing, he, like, moved, he leapt, he attacked, something like that. There were a lot of things that happened between the two throws, and, like, everybody kind of forgot about the first throw. Because the first throw was very insignificant. He threw a size 2 piece of terrain into Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider took 1 damage from it. It was, like, almost like it didn't happen. So it was very easy to forget. And then he used the second throw to throw my Hulk toward his Ghost Rider, which I think was his other big mistake that game. Because it just set my Hulk up to, like, double attack his Ghost Rider, and I pushed him away. Like, it didn't really help. I think it helped me. So, I mean, I guess it's whatever. With hindsight, like, yeah, he threw twice, but I think it was good for me. So,
yeah. So, what were your overall impressions of the event? Second LVO you went to, did this feel different? What did you come away thinking?
I mean, it did feel. So I brought Guardians this time. Last year I brought Avengers. I didn't think Avengers were necessarily the best thing last year, but I really liked playing them. I had a lot of reps. I was pretty familiar with the list. This year I'm like, I'm going to bring the thing that I think is the best. And obviously, like, the Guardians are pretty good. So I picked them, I put in reps, and I went there thinking that I have the best list. And I mean, unless I get bad dice, I'm probably going to do pretty well. And I mean, I went kind of like that last year, but I guess I felt more confident in the list this year, that it was actually like a tournament winning list, as opposed to like a 4-2 or 5-1 list.
If there's somebody that's preparing for an event like this, given your experience, what would you suggest in terms of the best way to prepare?
Just playing games, I guess. Getting familiar with the nuances of the characters and how they interact. Figuring out squads for different threat levels and what you're going to be playing against is a big deal. Like, I brought Toad because I wanted to play a wider objective team into certain teams, and I needed another 2, and he's an amazing objective player, so I brought Toad there. Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. Like, you don't know until you kind of get into the weeds with the team what it really wants outside of the quote-unquote core. Like Miles, I decided on Miles. I was debating. I was kind of going back and forth between, like, Miles, Zemo, and, like, Falcon. Ended up on Miles, he's a good pick. I ended up playing him twice. He's a good piece. He's a good splash piece. But just reps, like getting familiar with all your stuff, knowing your triggers, knowing the timings, remembering the triggers, remembering the timings. Like, I think I made mistakes with winging it 3 times that were pretty significant. One was re-rolling the dust to dust. One was forgetting to wing it on Hulk. And one was, in round 4, I forgot to put my winging it's out at the start of the round. So, yeah, I mean, reps definitely help those kind of things.
Well, and I'm imagining that the tokens being different probably played into that too.
Round 4, I didn't have different tokens. I was using my acrylics.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, I'm the first to admit that I don't play perfect games. I make mistakes. I think everyone makes mistakes.
Yeah,
and we're not professionals. We're not sitting here, like, grinding games 40 hours a week to get, a Grandmaster chess champion type level. Like, it's still, like, I'm playing, like, 3 games a week.
Yeah, it's still, like, hobby kind of
deal. It's a hobby thing. Like, yeah, we're good, but it's not like we're perfect players. You know?
Yeah, we're not like super grinding out games on TTS and stuff and doing. That's a lot of work.
All right, gentlemen. Anything else?
I wanted to give a shout out to the tournament organizers, Omnis, Tyson, Lexa, and Brett during the pods Friday and the main event Saturday and Sunday, and also to Carl. I met Carl. We were waiting for an Uber when we first got there. We were just hanging out I was hanging out with my wife, and Carl was just standing next to me waiting for an Uber, and he's like, "Hey, what, you going to LVO?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What are you playing?" I'm like, Marvel Crisis Protocol. He's like, "Hey, me too." And he's like, introduced himself. He's Carl Con guy, super friendly dude. And he's like, "Hey, hit me up when you get there, and I'll give you a card." So like, I was talking to Carl all week, and whenever I would see him, real cool dude. And then shout out to Gregory for being a great finalist opponent.
All right.
Do you have anything you would have changed
Yeah, I would have brought Red Skull.
instead of
Groot.
Groot?
Yeah.
Just
it
for
didn't
that?
matter. It didn't matter. It didn't end up mattering, but it could have mattered. Yeah, just for that. Yeah. I mean, Groot's whatever. He's fine, but I don't think he's great, and I don't like putting him on the table, but I thought he might work at certain threat levels.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess you could go Black Bolt too.
Yeah.
Black Bolt's got the bodyguard. He's better on the E, I think. Possibly. He sets up more math problems for your opponent.
Yeah.
With the bodyguard.
Yeah, that adds protection, especially for like CGR.
But I mean, Red Skull's really good too. He can hit real freaking hard with Death's Decree, and like CGR can got your back. The Grunt's dying. With Death's Decree on top of that.
Oh, and he's good against CGR too, preventing the pulls.
Yeah.
That's super helpful.
Yeah. Preventing the incinerates.
Yeah, and it makes it really weird because he's like super threatening, but so is CGR, but so is Thanos. It's like, who do you go after? You almost have to go after Thanos, but that's kind of hard. I don't know. I would definitely put a 5 in there. All
right. Well, anything else before we call it a podcast, JP? Anything else that you want to tell us about?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, webheads, we would like you, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you rate us and you review us. It's a big help. Follow us on all the socials, Witty Bantercast. Get in touch with us. We'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to hear your questions. We're just trying to figure this podcast thing out, and we want to learn how to get better. So your feedback will help us with that. And subscribe to us on the Patreon, patreon.com/Witty Bantercast. Until then, be good, webheads.